start on our beef and butternut one. Ooh, there's there goes our onion. So what we're going to do in our beef and butternut one is chili, beef and butternut squash chili. We're going to go ahead and start our ground beef. And I always like to cook my ground beef if there's onion in the recipe, to go ahead and cook it with the onion. And I think we're doing a green pepper on this. There we go. There's our onion. Let's see if that's going to get started. And our green pepper. And I always like to, instead of cutting that down, I think you've seen me do this before, it's to just cut the top off and pull the seeds out. You get most of the seeds out rather than cutting it down the middle. And okay, and I'm just gonna chop this up. We're waiting for all this to cook. And also this is, one that we could take this part that we have, our ground beef and our onion, and we could be making this while we're making dinner tonight, and we would have our soup all ready to throw in the crock pot the next morning. So it's all about the planning. You'd have this mixture already done. This is the hard part. Or not the hard part, but if you were trying to put it in the crock pot, this would take too long in the morning. But if you had it all cooked in the refrigerator, throw it all in the crock pot with the rest of the ingredients, you'd be good to go. Okay, in the beef and butternut chili, I meant to go down to the produce department and get a butternut squash. Does everybody know what a butternut squash looks like? It's, that's kind of skinny and then it's got a big bulb on the end. I chose a small one, and what you need to do to cut it is to peel the outside off. And I just used a vegetable peeler, and I made 2 swipes. One to get the hard part off, and then it was a little green, so I went around it again. And then I stood it up and sliced it down. You don't want to try to have it rolling around because it's really hard. So I sliced it down the center, and then at the very bottom of the bulb, there's about this much space that has all the seeds. So you just take a spoon, scoop those out, and then you can cut the rest of it up. Just be really careful because it is hard and you don't want your knife to slip. So I found it was easier, instead of once I had it cut in half and the seeds out, instead of trying to hold it up with my knife, I stood it up on the ball part that had the seeds gone and sliced it down that way. And then if the knife slipped, it wouldn't cut me. It would just slip. So otherwise, if you're holding it like this, it has a tendency to rock, and since it is so hard, you want to be just really careful with that. Okay, I just jumped all out of this. And I got a small one. So if you're growing that in your garden, great. And it wasn't hard to get the seeds out once you had it cut. Okay, I think that's pretty well done. All right, so what do we need to add to this? We've got our onion, ground beef, our onion, and our green pepper in there. Oh, more garlic. Good heavens, we better not breathe on anybody. Okay, there's our garlic. I didn't realize that all these recipes had so much garlic in it till I started measuring out all the garlic, and I'm like, wow. What I used was the minced garlic. This is one of my favorite products. You could, if you wanted to take the time to mince garlic yourself, have at it. I like this. It's packed in water, It's already minced. It's wonderful. Just measure it out. So that's just what I use. Okay, so we got our garlic in there. We don't need to drain it. We're going to stir in our tomatoes, our chili beans, our squash, our cumin, chili pepper, or chili powder, and I think we'll add the corn last. So we've got our chili beans, and these are the kind that have the sauce with them, so we're not going to drain them or rinse them. And our tomatoes I got with the Mexican style with jalapeno peppers and spices, because this is chili. We don't need to drain them because we want to have a little bit of juice for our chili. There's the 2 cans of that. Okay, and we need some beef broth, I believe. Okay, let's give that a quick stir here. Get that stirred up. I think this is going to be really spicy. Okay. Ooh, look at our tomato soup's looking good. It's boiling. Our chicken soup's good. Everything is good. Oh, we forgot to add this. Put our butternut squash in. I thought this looked really fallish with the orange. Okay. Now, it's going to cook in the soup. Now, it was right off, well, not quite right off the vine, but pretty close to it. I picked it right out of the produce garden. Okay. But it does, I really like the color of this, you know, with the bright orange of the squash and the green pepper. And of course, as it cooks down, it's going to change a little color, but I still thought it looked really good. All right. Let's go ahead and put our spices in. We've got a combination of cumin and chili powder. Get that stirred up in there. We'll add the corn right now. Toward the end, all this is a bag of frozen corn that we've thawed out. And you can see the squash is getting cooked. It almost looks like carrot. Okay, we'll put that corn in. And I would call this, we'll let this heat up for just a minute, and this will be done. We'll go ahead and dish out our butternut squash and beef chili. And I think this would be a good one to put in your crock pot. Like I said, you could, the night before, cook the beef and the onions and the green peppers, put that aside. In the morning you get up, put that in your crock pot, throw everything else in, and by the time, cook it all day, and by the time you got home, you'd have wonderful soup.